In this self-nip bobbly-de-baba-dee-ba-doo-doo. About the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. About the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. And we're on Everyday Warriors. And what's the flexible co-host? Well, ask Graciela Moore, but I'll tell you, that's what I'm working as my role here today as a flexible co-host with Christopher Cavallo of Cavallo Creations. And we are Everyday Warriors. Today,
that's right.
This edition's featured reading, which is also for World Reading Club, is called The Mother of the Matrix, and it's about Sophia Stewart. So, without further ado, you're listening to The Mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, with yours truly, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, as the flexible co-host, with Chris Cavallo of Cavallo Creations and Veterans Club Racing Association. This is on the Wisdom app for World Reading Club in association with Veterans Club Racing Association and Uniquilibrium. Today, Chris and I had just finished getting some food and was browsing through, I believe it might have been Facebook, off of something that Chris was pointing out to me. And I came across this article. The article is called The Mother of the Matrix. And I don't know what this website is here. I don't think I've seen this before. Yes, it has an interesting name. Where did I find it from? Oh, it was on, interesting. Oh no, I typed it in to find we were talking about this from a show. Chris, what was that show? Is it the anime that we were watching that you said that some of the features of the stylized visuals came from for the Matrix? Matrix movie.
It is called Serial Experiment Lane. Lain. It is a anime. I believe it's 1999, 1998. Probably produced sooner, but that's what the credit is given to on Funimation. Serial Experiment Lane.
Serial Experiment Lane. Okay. And yeah, there were some things that I did see in there that were very, very much stylistically like the Matrix. So I could see where that where those references could come from. So about the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. The article is on a website called Bong Minds Entertainment. Yeah, bongmindsentertainment.com. Minds, M-I-N-E-S. And bong, I guess that's referring to something that people smoke tobacco or another stuff out of, I suppose. And it was published on November 10th, 2021. It says it's an 18-minute read. So, and it's called Sophia Stewart Exposes Hollywood Elites for Stealing Her Creative Works. Now, this is a story that I've heard about before and have mulled over in my mind, and I've just thought about and thought was very interesting. But it's just been coming up more and more and more over and over again. And it's really more and more relevant now, I guess, even in the public domain, simply because of all of the attention and excitement and fear around artificial intelligence. And just within the work that I do in neuroscience and everything having to do with cognitive science, behavioral science, that this is also very interesting to me personally. And there are so many things that, and so much of the work that we're doing currently, where this becomes very relevant. So welcome Siobhan to the room, Lois Hanson, Nikita Grant, Jen Drakes, Marcy Ann, Phoebe, Yahuda, Lisa Joy, Casimir. And hey, I'm here as a flexible co-host. Flexible co-host is first time I heard the term presented by Graciela Moore here on the Wisdom app. And it's a very useful concept. I didn't realize that I was doing something similar. So what that means is that anybody who is listening, who has any commentary or questions or would like to ask anything like that, you can ask to either myself or Chris, and either one of us or both can give our insights on it. You can also send text messages in the back channels if we're connected, if you're following me and or Chris. Or you can just come up for a few moments, ask your question or make a statement about something like that for 5 minutes, and then pop back off so I can get on up and read again or continue reading or finish out the show or whatever stage we are in our live presentation. Hey, welcome Carletta, Tamra. Carletta Carey's in the house. Tamra. Hello, Versiner McIntyre. So let's take a look at this. The mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, right? And we'll take a look at the article. So if you'd like to read along, it's on Bong Entertainment. And so it's Bong, B-O-N-G, Minds, M-I-N-E-S, Entertainment, ENTERTAINMENT.com. Bong Minds Entertainment. You know, maybe I could have probably sourced this article from somewhere else that didn't have the word bong in it because people are so funny. But this is actually an excellent article. Even though some people might discredit it because the word bong is in the title of the platform. So let's take a look at this now. Bong Minds Entertainment. Sophia Stewart exposes Hollywood elites for stealing her creative works. Looks like it was published by Zangba Thompson under the category of interviews, November 10th, 2021. An 18-minute read. So far it says it has 13 comments. Sophia Stewart is an author based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Not too long ago, we interviewed her. During our memorable conversation, she exposed Hollywood elites for stealing The Matrix and the Terminator movies straight out of her book entitled The Third Eye. There's a YouTube video of the Sophia Stewart interview on Bong Entertainment, just so you know. Zangba Thompson, before conducting the interview via telephone, stated, "As I prepared to seize the day, an all too important reminder apprehended my mind. I was to record a phone conversation with the writer of The Matrix and Terminator movies, Sophia Stewart, last name spelled with a T and not a D, Stewart." So Zangba Thompson, before conducting the interview via telephone, stated, "As I prepared to seize the day, an all too important reminder apprehended my mind. I was to record a phone conversation with the writer of The Matrix and Terminator movies, Sophia Stewart, last name spelled with a T and not a D. I kindly reminded myself because of a previously made spelling error on my part. The phone rang, and then I heard her voice. It was warm and welcoming, reminiscent of a heroine's voice from an ancient Kemet. Sophia Stewart. How do you pronounce your name?" she asked politely, after giving her the Grabo pronunciation of my name. She mastered it, saying it 3 times. "I read your bio," she continued. At that moment, our conversation struck me with a strong deja vu feeling. It felt as if I was Neo talking to the Oracle. What I thought would be a routine interview shaped itself into a surreal moment that I will never forget. The more I listened, the bigger my world became. You know, I really enjoy this idea here. The more I listened, the bigger my world became. You know, welcome Rodney Williams in the house. Anthony Thomas, what's up? Gaming the system. So, is she said the bigger my world became. Something that a lot of people may not know, and I like to share this a lot, is something related to this comment, and I'm wondering if it might be shared later on in this article, because I haven't read the whole thing. But she says, the more I listened, the bigger my world became. And that's a direct nod to the Matrix in from my analysis of this, because when you take the red pill or the blue pill, right? So the blue pill, you go right back into the Matrix. The red pill, you go further down the rabbit hole. And that's directly related to physics and space itself, because there's something called red shift and blue shift. And it's the same concept of the Doppler effect, which is when you hear a vehicle coming towards you, the sound of the engine and the tires on the road and other things start to get higher in pitch because the sound waves are closer and closer together. So that's a higher frequency, therefore a higher pitch, because they're coming to you at a quicker rate. And as a vehicle moves away from you and becomes further in distance, the sound waves are further and further apart, and you get a lower frequency pitch as the sound waves stretch apart their frequency, or how often they hit your ears, or whatever detection equipment is used to pick up the sound. And the same thing is with photons and light waves and frequencies. So the analogy is that when you take the blue pill and there's blue shift, so this blue shift and red shift was discovered by the Hubble telescope inventor Edwin Hubble, who found, and this is why the theory was that the universe is mostly expanding, because mostly they saw redshift, which means that planets and stars and galaxies are moving away from each other. Therefore, the frequency is lower and in the red spectrum of the frequency. If they were coming towards us, we would see things in the blue shift. So the analogy is blue is like your world collapsing together, closing the mind, closing in, a universe collapsing. Whereas the red pill and the red shift is the expansion of the universe expanding. So, Chris, what do you think about that concept or explanation that I just gave there about the red pill? And does it make sense to you? And or have you heard that explanation before? Because I never have anybody say it like that, but I'm sure that maybe physicists or other people might have. Have you heard that before?
I haven't. I'm in for the ride here, man. I think it's a great article that we really stumbled across here. It was, I mean, how I was showing you these things, and I said, look, I really only consume content that sparks my thirst for knowledge or insight for things and deeper understanding. And then you even told me the other day, you're like, well, there's this was just recently discovered, and I was like, nah, man, like no way. I was kind of dismissive of it, right? And then you watched the whole series last night, and then you were talking about it just now, and you're like, yeah, man, now I have like a much deeper understanding of what you meant, because this stuff is crazy deep. And now we started going into this article, and we were like, wow, this is so great. We have to stop now and start reading this.
So for a little background, everybody, Chris was showing me a show, and he was like, oh, the Wachowski brothers, or the creators of The Matrix, said they were directly inspired by this anime. And I didn't know what he was talking about at first. I said, no. I said, this is there was a woman who wrote the Matrix and the Terminator movies way before, as a writer, that was discovered. And so I was like, I don't think that's accurate. And he insisted on it, like he said. And but then as I looked at a little bit more, I said, oh, Chris is talking about the stylistic visuals of it, because I could see those direct connections there. But as far as the story, everything pretty much came verbatim from Sophia Stewart. I mean, they took every single little piece of her work. I don't know what people were thinking. Like, they could just get away with it and not give her credit for her work. But here, it's come around full circle. This is an amazing story that you're going to hear if you haven't heard it this way before. But you're definitely going to hear it now. So the story, let's continue here with the story on the website bongmindsentertainment.com, called Sophia Stewart Exposes Hollywood Elites for Stealing Her Creative Works. All right. Okay, here we go. So, continuing with the article. Sophia Stewart. How do you pronounce your name? She asked politely. After giving her the Grebo pronunciation of my name, she mastered saying it 3 times. I read your bio, she continued. At that moment, our conversation struck me with a strong deja vu feeling. It felt as if I was Neo talking to the Oracle. What I thought would be a routine interview shaped itself into a surreal moment that I will never forget. The more I listened, the bigger my world became. Neo and the Oracle. Sophia Stewart. Matrix and Terminator are black artwork. In white artwork, we, blacks, are in lower positions. We are not in a position of leadership or in a position of upward mobility, of who we are and our standings. But Matrix is a black leadership role, and it puts people of color in a great position. And the white guys are the bad guys. It's black artwork and black ownership. All right, so that's I guess I understand where she's coming from. That's a little intense for me. She's like, the white people are the bad guys. So it's interesting, but everybody just understand this is a perspective that a lot of people have. But what's fascinating is this story overall. So please don't allow anything about your ideas about race and ethnicity to cloud what you're about to hear in the rest of this presentation, because it is quite fascinating what you'll hear as it unfolds. Growing up, who were some of your influences? Sophia Stewart. Malcolm X influenced me. Oh boy. Oh, scheisse. Oh no. Okay, folks, that's what it is. I missed, I kind of just rolled over that part earlier, but here we go. Sophia Stewart. Okay, says, Malcolm X influenced me. I didn't know too much about Martin Luther King Jr., but when I was a little girl, I read about Malcolm in his memoir, The Autobiography of Malcolm X, as told to Alex Haley. Also, I read Roots, The Saga of an American Family by Alex Haley, and that became my theme. Wow. You know, what's interesting, my friend Vlad, not too long ago, we go. Live again. Yeah, just some weird stuff has been happening. Like this other person's profile picture keeps popping up here. There's some little glitchy stuff happening. So I had to pause for a moment to make sure that I'm back in the saddle. And I see Chris is still muted, so it means that he's hearing me loud and clear.
Yeah, it was kind of weird actually, because like it's kind of it's like got you muted on my screen, but you're not muted, and then you cut out once or twice, but. Right. You're coming through very clear when you are here. There's no, no issue there. So.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'm just correcting for just working with the little glitches that may be happening for whatever reason. So, continuing about the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. So she's really very Afrocentric, it seems, and she's very much about the Black Power movement and all that. I wasn't even aware of that. I think I jumped to some other parts of the article as I was reading it, but let us continue because it is fascinating. And the things that will unfold here are somewhat mind-blowing in their scope and just how far-reaching this seems to be in general. I mean, it's for real. Like, folks, this is not a small thing. This is massive. What is unfolding here? I mean, massive. This is something quite incredible that I've been aware of for a long time, but I didn't get. This is an interview, so I didn't get this clear presentation before, and now this has been extremely exciting, which is why we chose, this, and it was a spur of the moment thing, right, Chris? I mean, we were starting to read it, and we had this discussion.
Absolutely,
and
it's crazy.
Yeah. And it was we just started, just kind of talking about this stuff. And then I started reading and I was like, hey, check this out. Like, this is interesting. And then I read some more. I was like, wait a minute, this is even, this is even more interesting. as we went along, I was like, wait a minute, this is, and it just kept on happening. I said, okay, you know what? We were going to do some content, but this is the thing that we need to share with people right now. This is
Yeah,
the
I
thing that we
mean,
need to talk about.
we got to a point where we're only two paragraphs in. We were like, wow, this is why I want my quantum, material science degree from Duke, and it's like, this is why we've been almost like trading our whole lives for this weird auspicious thing that's it is called life. It just wow, yeah, I cannot wait for you guys to hear what is in this interview. The mother of the
Yeah, and a lot of
Matrix,
it,
Sophia Stewart. Oh,
yeah, and a lot of it is going to be revealed to us too, because we didn't finish reading the whole article.
that's right. This is a live
I just
reading. This is what the World Reading Club is
cold,
about. We
yeah,
do a lot of cold reads, a
yep.
lot of live readings, because this is what we want to do. This is what we're about.
So, yeah, this is going to be quite fascinating how this shapes up here in just the next few moments as we continue with what we're calling About the Mother of the Matrix. And that article is on bongmindsentertainment.com. I posted links on my Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander Facebook. Is going up right now. I believe there's already one on Twitter. And you can find all that stuff under the titles of Uniquilibrium, just like my tag here. But let us now continue with this article, The Mother of the Matrix. So she said that the autobiography of Malcolm X, as told by Alex Haley. Also, I read Roots, The Saga of an American Family by Alex Haley, and that became my theme, as I said, by Sophia Stewart. My brother and sister were always talking about the Black Panthers, so I grew up with Black pride. Back then, it was all about empowerment for the black man and for people of color to be empowered. That was a great thing for us. But now there's no pride, no unity, no desire for knowledge, culture, and history like back then. And there's a little clip here of the Black Panthers. I actually didn't know this was like this, but this is amazing that what's unfolding, and it kind of gives some ideas of why this was just kind of covered up and stepped on, interestingly enough. The Black Panthers, July 28, 1968, Oakland, California, USA. Panthers on parade. Panthers line up at a Free Huey rally in Deframery Park in West Oakland Ghetto. Credit, copyright 2017, Stephen Shames, from the book Power to the People, The World of the Black Panthers, Abrams. So I'm looking at a photo here on the website. What's the greatest obstacle you had to overcome? Sophia Stewart. Proving that Warner Brothers, James Cameron, and the Wachowski brothers stole graphics, characters, special effects, and plots and themes from my book, The Third Eye, to create The Terminator and the Matrix movies. This dilemma began in 1981 when I submitted my source work to 20th Century Fox, and again in 1986 when I answered a magazine advertisement for a science fiction script that the Wachowski brothers were going to make into a comic book. What the flying monkeys? This reminds me of part of the plot from this movie called Red Belt with Chiwetel Ejiofor. How he made contact with some people, and then it was like, yo, now the Rico connection. Oh man, that movie. Everybody got to watch that movie, Red Belt, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Fantastic film. It's amazing. And there's some interesting similarities here with this. This is a wild ride we're going on here about the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. With me, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, as the flexible co-host. Thanks again. That's a nod to Graciela Moore with the flexible co-host status. The article continues, The Mother of the Matrix. But years later, my vision hit the movie screens on March 31st, 1999, in the form of The Matrix. In fact, the Wachowski brothers used a verbatim quote from my book to introduce the film, which was later removed after I initiated an FBI investigation into the criminal copyright infringement of my work. The studios took my source work to make The Matrix and the Terminator movies, but they failed to mention that I was the writer. I faced insurmountable odds, and my 4 former attorneys sabotaged my 2004 California court case. Had I been allowed to submit the 6 movies and the 1 minute and 45 seconds of the protective expression, which is the smoking gun in movies, I would have proven undisputedly, that I am the writer of The Matrix and the Terminator movies. And there's a picture of the Wachowskis. One of them with pink and orange dreadlocks. It's a pretty cool look, actually. I like that. Sophia Stewart. Somehow, the Wachowski brothers and Warner Brothers lost the case because they failed to answer the amended complaint within 30 days. And later, the Terminator defendant admitted to Judge Margaret Morrow, the second judge on my California case, that they had indeed stolen the Terminator from me 18 odd years ago. On April 7th, 1999, they offered me a settlement, and I turned it down. I rejected their $5 to $7 million offer simply because they wanted to buy my copyrights, which are worth billions of dollars. I went straight to the FBI and filed a criminal copyright infringement complaint against the 8 defendants in my case. The FBI did their investigation and came back and gave me files and evidence proving I was telling the truth. But what a lot of people don't know, those files and evidence were covered up because the people who were supposed to protect me, which is the U.S. Attorney Office, took slush fund money not to prosecute the defendants. All right. We got some conspiracy theory territory here going on. This is conspiracy theory territory, but not really. But it would seem.
I wouldn't
like
say
that.
I wouldn't say it's any conspiracy theories. This is all just truth. I mean, it finally came out of the wash. It's been suppressed. This is no theory. This is all reality.
It finally came out of the wash.
I mean, bro, let's just be real.
Yeah,
we are everyday warriors. This is what the whole show is about. Like, I mean, this is a warrior move she made. Like you said, I mean, they tried to cover it up, and she said, "Nope, I'm just gonna wait. It takes time, but I got this."
Yeah, man. And it is quite a story indeed. As I take a moment to share this a little bit on Twitter. Twitter loves the AI and the NLP.
So I'm assuming that maybe because he's switching back and forth here, it's cutting his audio. But we all know how Hakeem operates. He's sending out some tweets to the other co-hosts out here and other top tier and top mentors here on the Wisdom app. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Here we go, brother. I'm back.
So, yep. Alrighty.
This is the beauty of
this is the World Reading Club. Thank you.
Yes, sir. World Reading Club. This is the beauty of being in the same location. Chris is just in the other room over there, and we're broadcasting together. But so yes. It's Chris and I. I didn't really emphasize that too much, but we have a show that we have syndicated across the social audio networks that we have around here, and it's called Everyday Warriors is one of the shows that we do, Everyday Warriors. And this is part of the Everyday Warriors network, along with World Reading Club and the Cavallo Creations, Veterans Club Racing Association, here on the Wisdom app. And we are reading The Mother of the Matrix, which is Sophia Stewart, and that continues right now. James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd, which, by the way, if you guys don't know Gail Ann Hurd, she is one of the creators on the Walking Dead TV show about zombies and stuff. Sophia Stewart. This is why I had to go to court for damages against the Wachowski brothers, Warner Brothers, James Cameron, and Gail Ann Hurd. I didn't want them to escape injustice, and I felt they needed to go to jail because the industry shouldn't steal from the people. We always had great diversity and great movies because the industry brought stories from the people. I wanted that tradition to carry on, and that's why I went to the U.S. Attorney Office to stop the stealing from the people. But that case fell through, and I filed my own case, being that I was a paralegal. And the first judge on the case was historical. His name was Terry Hatter Jr. My case was the last case that the late Johnny Cochran had called for. I made history, and Johnny told me that Judge Hatter was with Martin Luther King Jr. during the Civil Rights Movement. He said Hatter would bend over backward to make sure that you get justice. RICO case. Sophia Stewart exposes Hollywood elite for stealing her creative works. When I saw Judge Hatter, I asked him to give me a RICO case against the defendants, and he told me if I could answer 20 questions, he would serve RICO on the defendants. I answered the 20 questions and got my wish. All right, what is RICO, everybody? What is RICO? When you file RICO, what does that mean? The Google bot is going to tell us that right now. It's called the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act of 1970. Wow. RICO, RICO. RICO. The Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, of 1970 seeks to strengthen the legal tools in evidence gathering by establishing new penal prohibitions and providing enhanced sanctions and new remedies for dealing with the unlawful activities of those engaged in organized crime. Wow, and this comes from ojp.gov. So it's a government website, NCJRS. So that's where that comes from. The NCJ number 100617, Labor Law Journal, Volume 36, Issue 5. Yes, so, wow, they have a cool article about RICO. The power of RICO lies in its conspiracy provision. That's what we're talking about here. Man, this is so close to that movie Red Belt. It's fascinating. I wonder what connections there may be there. There may be something deeper. Abstract. The power of RICO lies in its conspiracy provision, based on an enterprise rationale that allows tying together apparently unrelated crimes with a common objective into a prosecutable pattern of racketeering. In addition, RICO provides for severer penalties and permits a defendant to be convicted and separately punished for both the underlying crimes that constitute the pattern of racketeering activity and for a substantive violation of RICO. Finally, injunctive relief provisions allow for the prohibition of further involvement with the labor organization of the convicted racketeering associates. Thus, RICO provides an effective method both for establishing the existence of organized crime's penetration into labor unions and for excising corrupt union officials from positions of leadership. The deterrent power of RICO enforcement over time should produce a more viable, democratically elected union leadership. Okay, anyway. Anyhow, anywho, any go. So that's what RICO is. So continuing from Sophia Stewart. When I saw Judge Hatter, I asked him to give me a RICO case against the defendants, and he told me that if I could answer 20 questions, he would serve RICO on the defendants. I answered the 20 questions and got my wish. You're listening to About the Mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, with yours truly, Hakeem, as the flexible co-host, a term coined by Graciela Moore, here with Chris Cavallo of Cavallo Creations and VeteransClubRacingAssociation.com, here on the Wisdom app. Continuing the reading from BongMindsEntertainment.com. They knew they couldn't beat the RICO, so Warner Brothers and Fox had their attorney Bruce Isaacs, to call me and try to buy out the RICO. They wanted to pay me to drop my RICO case against them because the Wachowski brothers, Warner Brothers, James Cameron, and Gail Ann Hurd didn't have any copyrights of ownership to The Matrix or The Terminator. Plus, they already admitted to Judge Morrow, or to Judge Marrow, that they had stolen the source work from me, and I have all the documents to prove everything that I'm saying in this interview. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment, Sophia Stewart? It's the fact, in spite of all the injustice that was done to me, I was able to prevail over these defendants with a default judgment that's worth billions of dollars. Even though I suffered, I accomplished a great historical deed by becoming the copyright owner of The Matrix and the Terminator franchises, which include all the derivatives that were made from my book. On June 25th, 2014, I will finally be awarded the billions of dollars that's been denied to me for over 2 years. What's the worst advice anyone has ever given you? Sophia Stewart. Some people, including attorneys, told me that I should be quiet and not do any interviews speaking out against the people who stole my source work that made The Matrix and the Terminator movies. In fact, if I had taken their horrible advice, I wouldn't have prevailed. Another bad advice that I've noticed is people telling people to use a poor man's copyright over filing proper federal copyright. That's the worst advice that anyone can give to anybody because a poor man's copyright will not protect you in the court of law. Your intellectual property is just as valuable as your physical properties, if not more. Protect your source work. Man, this is pretty incredible. If you're just joining or just listening and hearing right now, Sophia Stewart has become the copyright owner of both the copyright for the Terminator and the Matrix movies, which is worth billions of dollars. And recently, of course, the Matrix 4 came out, but now a lot of the negative press and a lot of the things that have happened now, I'm seeing with the Matrix movies and the new one, and things that people have been saying and so on and so forth. After looking more deeply into this issue, it has become more and more apparent a lot of things, which I may not get into in this reading presentation, but let us continue.
I think there's definitely room for a part two for that after the article, because I
Yeah.
think it was a great film. I think there's much to touch on about the way society is set up. I don't, we don't have to touch on color so much. That is clearly part of why this happened. But this is just so amazing and it's incredibly powerful. This creates case law. This creates a precedence that like Supreme Court can refer to. It's just so yeah, I agree. This is we're doing this cold reading. It's a great article. There's some other things that are coming up. You guys are going to be mind blown. We were mind blown, and then there's definitely room later to elaborate on this. We welcome you to come back and engage with us some more because Hakeem is being a flexible co-host. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great ability to have this platform to do something like that as well.
Yes. Thanks again. A nod to Graciela Moore for your flexible co-host idea. Continuing. Sophia Stewart says, protect your source work. Your source work is worth a lot of money. It's the legacy that you will pass on to your family. And if someone steals your work, the copyright is there to protect you. The U.S. Attorney Office and the Department of Justice have to come in and defend your rights, just like they defend the studio's rights, because you paid for the same protection that the studio paid for. Imagine fighting $1 billion or $100 million case with a poor man's copyright. These corporations will eat you up alive, eat your attorneys up, buy out your attorneys, judges, lawyers, trademark agents, politicians, assistant commissioners, and U.S. attorney generals. Can you be a little bit more specific, Miss Stewart? It's ludicrous doing a poor man's copyright. This information needs to get out there because the majority of people don't understand their rights. So this kind of ends the segment of where we've learned that Miss Sophia Stewart has won the rights to that are worth billions and billions of dollars to the Terminator and the Matrix franchises because the work was stolen from her by Gail Ann Hurd, James Cameron, Warner Brothers Studios, the Wachowski brothers, and she won a default case that gave her all the rights to that. And so now we're going to talk about a little bit of philosophy of the movies, which I briefly touched on earlier with the red pill, blue pill comparison and analogy, which I believe is just the same thing as talking about red shift and blue shift in physics, which is similar to effect of the Doppler effect. So red shift, the red pill expanding, and blue shift, blue pill contracting. So red pill is opening and expanding the mind, and the blue pill is closing the mind. And that's where that red pill, blue pill connection at least comes from for me. I don't know if she touches on this article, but this is where we pretty much stopped around this next part that's coming here, because it was just so amazing about how she explains the philosophy and all the things that go into the Matrix that now we're going to some more philosophy and the creative and the science fiction part. So this is the stuff that I really, really like. I'm glad that we were able to get through the course, the case history of the courts, but now we are on to this section where the question is asked by the interviewer. Can you briefly decode the connection between The Matrix and the Terminator movies? Sophia Stewart. The 3 Terminator movies is the prequel to The Matrix. The Matrix is the future, and that's why it took several years for the Matrix movie to be made, because the special effects technology had not been created yet. The Terminator comes from the machine planet and goes to the past to kill Sarah Connor. Neo's mother, let me read that again. The Terminator comes from the machine planet and goes to the past to kill Sarah Connor, Neo's mother. The initials JC stands for John Connor and symbolically represents Jesus Christ. John Connor grows up to be Neo in The Matrix. You know, a lot of movies do this nod with the letters and things like that. For example, you know, we've always known about James Bond, but what do you think Jason Bourne was doing when they gave those nods? Sort of like how the JC of John Connor and Jesus Christ. There's a lot of these cool things if you look out for them. You shall find them. Continuing, Sophia Stewart says, remember, in the Bible, Jesus was the only one called the One. So Neo is just an anagram or a sneaky way of calling him the One. Neo plus ONE are one and the same. Terminator 2. If you look at Terminator 2, he looks like a girl. He has long hair, earrings in his ears, and unisex.
Hey, bud. Yep. Nope. You're not there. And this is like the good stuff. So, I found this article as well.
Hey, bud.
There you go. There you go. So you were like third line, right with the crystals.
Okay, dude, that is so weird. People's faces keep popping up where mine should be, and popping up on your show. Anyway, hilarious. They're trying to stop us. The Matrix is infiltrating our conversation. No, no.
Nothing is real. Everything is permitted.
All right, here we go. So if you look at Terminator 2, he looks like a girl. So this is something very interesting, folks. He has long hair, earrings in his ears, and unisex clothes. So what she's saying here, she says, I have him hidden out as a girl on paper because the agents are looking for the indigo Christ child. And this is where you see the indigo kids and the crystals, which are the young adults with the oracles. So she's saying in the Terminator 2 movie, the reason why John Connor there has more like swept over hair and the earrings and the unisex clothes is because on paper in the story, she originally had him hidden out, basically dressing as a girl to hide out from the agents because he's the indigo Christ child. But in the movie, they didn't do that. I guess, you know, putting a little boy in girl's clothing would have been too much for them in a movie. Interestingly enough, because the Wachowski brothers, one of them, you know, is transgender. So anyway, indigo children. The Indigo Kids, or the Christ children, were given these unusual gifts. When you see the little boy bending the spoon, they're looking for the one. That's part of the prophecy that's going to destroy the machines in the future. And the oracle brought a prophecy about this child, and that's why it's called the Matrix Revolutions. Because the rebellion started when Neo turns 30 years of age. The rebels come to find him because he's hidden out in the city. They know that he's the one that's going to destroy the machines. That's why they came in the past to kill the mother, so the baby will not be born in the Terminator movie. This is the whole story. It was so much work that Warner Brothers and their conspirators had to cut it into two major franchises called The Matrix and The Terminator. But they didn't understand the whole premise of my work, because in the future the machines were dominating and they enslaved the people. But this Christ child, Neo, this savior, this rebel, would be born of the womb, or be born of the Latin word matrix. He goes to the pod where all the water, the spirits, the baptismal, the place where he's cleansed. Morpheus plus Sophia Stewart. And Morpheus, oh wait, there's a picture with Sophia Stewart and Lawrence Fishburne in the article. There they are together. Yeah, interestingly enough, very, very fascinating. Okay. And Morpheus, continuing, and Morpheus, symbolically representing John the Baptist, prepares him for his destiny and shows him how to fight. Morpheus teaches Neo what's really going on because he's consciously asleep. He hasn't evolved consciously and needs to be awakened. Eventually, Neo's human side dies, and his spiritual side, the energy of the eye, which is the third eye, the eye of God, or Horus, is born. The energy of the third eye comes into Neo, and his body goes into an evolutionary transformation. Neo. You've been listening to About the Mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, with yours truly, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, as the flexible co-host with Chris Cavallo of Cavallo Creations and Veterans Club Racing Association.com, here on the Wisdom app, continuing with Sophia Stewart talking about the Matrix and Terminator movies. He ascends into his fourth dimensional light body. Now he's flying and is able to cross dimensions. He's able to avoid bullets and they have no effect on him. And the agents, they're multiplying like multiplications, and each time Agent Smith multiplies, he gets the power to the 10th level. I created the Matrix and the Terminator using ancient sacred geometry and quantum physics. The theme is the second coming of Christ and the evolution of consciousness, man versus machines. My work is based on ancient Kemet, which is where the King James Bible is based on, and also where the Christ, the One, comes from. When you look at the three Terminator movies, they are the prequel to the Matrix, and the Matrix is a Latin word that means the womb. If you do your research, the Matrix is mentioned 5 times in the King James Bible. Also, in Exodus 34:19, God said, "He who opens the matrix, or those who come out of the womb, are my children, because they are born with souls." And then, in the future, a man starts creating his own children, the machines, the test tube babies, the petri dish, artificial insemination, and clones. What can we expect from The Matrix 4? Sophia Stewart. Homeland Security. NASA scientists and doctors have read my Matrix 4 book, and they said the wireless hover... Boom. Okay, backing up. Sophia Stewart. Homeland Security, NASA scientists, and doctors have read my Matrix 4 book, and they said the wireless hovercraft ships I created helped them to solve the alien technology on ships from the 50s. At first, they didn't know how those ships worked, how they were fueled, or how they flew until they read my book, where I'm talking about what you saw in the Matrix 2014 Super Bowl Kia commercial. That's my work that they stole right out of my 2010 copyright. That's a new concept that I called the Matrix Sphinx car. It starts up with a musical note and voice recognition, exactly what you see Morpheus doing in the commercial, where cars are flying up because of the polarity. All of this is in my book. Also, Homeland Security was especially ecstatic about my new penal system, which states that you don't have to be behind bars to be in prison, and you will be your own judge, jury, and executioner. Wow, this is fascinating, this stuff. So she's talking about NASA, Homeland Security, right? Scientists, different doctors have looked at her book and have been able to solve different pieces of technology according to her, which is interesting too, because what I looked at here about the polarity, when she says the cars are flying up because of polarity, it also reminds me of some work of Paul A. Violette of the Starburst Foundation and his books Secrets of Anti-Gravity Propulsion, Message from the Pulsars, and several of the books that he's done. But continuing with Sophia Stewart talking about the future. They do not have to put you on the moon anymore or other planets because of this new technology. All jobs will go through the internet, and your parole or probation officer will be monitoring you via satellite. What the smoking crowley crappy dog. This is really cool, man. I'm so glad that we got to dig into this a little bit. Chris, I'm going to jump down off of here. I got 8 minutes left, but I just want to reset my clock really quickly. So I'm going to jump down and come back up, and hopefully this will work out some glitches too as I take a little break here as we explore about the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart.
I was just catching up to see where we are here in this article. I got it pulled up as well.
All right.
It's great, man. Yep, we're here in the future.
About the
It's so great because this is literally this is an interview. This is her reporting this. This is not her speculating. This is not a conspiracy theorist saying something. This is from what we know of. This is a real life experience for her, and she's reporting on it. It's her. This is an interview.
Well, it's clear that it is. I mean, this court case. She owns the copyright for the Terminator and the Matrix. She's there with Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne.
That's right.
So, and again, this is on bongminsentertainment.com. Don't let the name throw you off. BONGMINESENTERTAINMENT. Bong Mines Entertainment. Mines like a gold mine. And this story is on several other channels, but this one I was just reading it, and it was compelling because it was right from the author, and the
so clearly it hasn't fixed anything because he's gone here again. But I'm sure he'll pop back in here. Where we left off is the future. All jobs are going to go through the internet. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, man. All right, so here we go. Let me get through this so we can continue. All right. So the future. They do not have to put you on the moon anymore or other planets because of this new technology. It will go through the internet, and your parole or probation officer will be monitoring you via satellite. If you commit a felony, it will be videotaped, and the video will be used as evidence of your crime and guilt. You will lose your constitutional rights. The government will send a drone transporter, and you will be sedated and gassed. The transporter will bring you back to Homeland Security, and then the agents will wheel you in on a gurney. But keep in mind, The government already has your DNA and your information is in their database. They will chip you with a microchip, a LoJack the size of a pinhead, and put these white laser rings around you like the rings of Saturn. Everyone will see you walking around in the mall with these white holographic laser rings around you, and they will know that you're in prison. You'll be able to speak to the people, but it's at your own risk because you could activate your rings, which are triggered by your emotions. If you don't have control over your emotions, you are not safe. Holy shit, this is great. The new penal system. When you step outside your home, these rings will appear on you. But when you come inside your home, these rings will rescind or disappear. If you steal a car, the rings will be activated. They will cut off your hands and stop you from bleeding. If you try to run from Homeland Security, your rings will be activated. They will cut off your feet and stop you from bleeding. If you commit murder, your rings will be activated. They will cut off your head. I am a seer, and visionaries like Nikola Tesla and Leonardo da Vinci. Wow, I am a seer and visionary. I should say visionary. I am a seer and visionary like Nikola Tesla and Leonardo da Vinci. Wow, she was in the form I was in last night. I was really freaking. Continuing, if you could change one thing about the film industry, what would it be? Sophia Stewart. I would add more black artwork and ownership. Most of the movies that are in the theaters today are repetitive nonsense, simply because the majority of studios have decided not to buy authentic stories from the people. There isn't any diversity in the marketplace. When The Matrix first came out in 1999, it changed the whole paradigm of how people watched movies and how Hollywood did business. Hollywood went from hundreds of million-dollar franchises to billion-dollar franchises. The Terminator and The Matrix are one of the first billion-dollar franchises. The Matrix made $1 billion by itself. It took $70 million to make, grossed $1 billion, and won 4 Oscars. How important is black ownership to you? I received a phone call from Julian Bond congratulating me for creating The Matrix with black superheroes, for inspiring our children and people of color to become whatever they wanted to become, including President of the United States. My work inspired people to vote for President Obama, and his victory gave us black pride around the globe. So black ownership is extremely important to me because Motown sold out. Essence sold out. When Russell Simmons sold his company, Def Jam Recordings sold out, and BET sold out. Sophia Stewart, Black Wall Street. This is wrong because there should be black ownership in America. We shouldn't allow others to come in and buy us out because when someone buys out your black company or corporation, they are in actuality getting the black consumer dollar. When we had segregation, we were multimillionaires. We were the ones who came out with Wall Street. Black Wall Street, we called it. But all of that was taken away from us because some people invented integration. They integrated just to steal the black consumer dollar. When we were segregated, we circulated our money amongst ourselves because white businesses refused to do business with us. That depravity enabled us to become great enterprises because we had no choice but to circulate our money amongst ourselves. What is black artwork and how important is that in the genre of science fiction? Sophia Stewart. The Matrix and the Terminator movies are black artwork. In white artwork, we, meaning people of color, are either cast in low positions or we aren't even visible. We are not in positions of leadership or in positions of upward mobility. And if we are, the roles are far in between. But in The Matrix, there are black leadership roles and people of color are in great superhero mode. It's black artwork and black ownership at its finest. I own The Matrix and The Terminator by copyrights, so you can say I have a collection of authentic black artwork. What advice would you give to an aspiring author? Create from your heart. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that or you need to follow a certain formula. Break all the barriers. Step outside the box. Create and do what your heart tells you to do. Think beyond the stars, but protect yourself and follow all the protocols of protection. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. What's the best way of pursuing your goals? Sophia Stewart. I succeeded because I kept everything in secrecy. When you go out there to accomplish great things, do not speak upon it. Keep it in secrecy until you have accomplished it. Then speak on it after the goal has been accomplished. Pause. Chris, this is something I say all the time, right? Is tell the world what you're going to do, but first show them. So she's saying that exact thing right there. Tell the world what you're going to do, but first show them. But when you first set out to do something great, don't even tell a friend and keep it a secret until it has materialized. Once it has materialized and everyone sees it, then speak volumes about it. That's the secret to success. Because the moment you speak of something that isn't materialized, all kinds of dark forces like hate, envy, and jealousy will come your way and try to destroy you. True. Years from now, when people mention your name, what will they say? They will say, I want to be like Sophia Stewart because she accomplished her goals. And if she could accomplish her goals, then I can accomplish that and greater because I can. What's your favorite word and why? Sophia Stewart. Growing up in New York, a Caucasian teacher once said to me, look at the word American and look at how it ends with I can. Meaning, you can do any and everything in the world that you want to do, and nothing is impossible for you to accomplish. Oftentimes, we're told no, that's not possible. You can't do this or don't do that. But all those discouraging statements are nothing but lies. The truth is, it's possible to do any and everything that you want to do. So don't let anyone's negativity discourage you from fulfilling your vision. How can people get in contact with you? They can do so by visiting my websites, matrixterminator.com and truthaboutmatrix.com. Very cool. matrixterminator.com and truthaboutmatrix.com. On those websites, my U.S. customers can buy my books directly from me, but foreign customers will only be able to download the ebook version. Foreign orders for my physical books will have to be made via Amazon.com. Thanks for a great interview, and as an honored guest, is there anything you would like to say? Sophia Stewart. Creating Black artwork and Black ownership is extremely important. We need to be able to buy and trade with each other and support Black ownership and Black businesses. We need to circulate our money within our community in order to build our economy. And we need to have Black pride and grow with unity. Stop the fussing and fighting and learn to love each other. Love is the answer. Love is what life is all about. This is an article by Zangba Thompson, who's editor-in-chief and founder. Zangba Thompson is an award-winning author, music tastemaker, journalist, digital publisher, recording artist, music consultant, screenwriter, and the founder, editor-in-chief of Bong Minds Entertainment. His creative works have been featured on NBC's Today, Kathy Lee and Hoda, ABC, Fox and Friends, Centric TV, Hot 97, and Essence Magazine, to name a few. Not too long ago, at the National Black Theater in Harlem, New York, Thompson received the Buy T. Moore Literary Award and a Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition from Charles B. Rangel for his literary achievements, commitment to strengthening our nation, and making a difference through volunteering service in urban communities. Thompson's award-winning book series, Three Black Boys is available where all books are sold. Also, his prosperity-based audiobook, Take a Look, There's Money All Around You, can be obtained via Apple Books, Amazon, and Audible. I love that. Take a look. There's money all around you. You have been listening to About the Mother of the Matrix. Hold on just a moment. Here we go. You've been listening to About the Mother of the Matrix. Sophia Stewart with yours truly, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander as the flexible co-host with Chris Cavallo on the Wisdom app for Cavallo Creations, World Reading Club in association with VeteransClubRacingAssociation.com and Uniquilibrium. All right, so this has been a fascinating journey and tour understanding now that Sophia Stewart, the mother of the Matrix, has the rights to the Matrix and the Terminator. You can find her stuff on the MatrixTerminator.com websites, and The Truth About the Matrix, I believe, is the other one. Let me take a look at this here. I'm going to post these elsewhere. I'm going to put them right now on actually my Twitter so I can hold on to those links to repurpose them and share them later. So we have MatrixTerminator.com, so that'll be one. So you can find some of her work on MatrixTerminator.com, and I'm going to put this in my Twitter post right now, which people have already retweeted and liked on Twitter, so that's good. So during the course of this talk, we've had some engagement, which is
it's good because this is really important. That it gets. I mean, we're all about awareness, and this is a good case law that has been established, and creating awareness to this is really, really important. And because it's an interview, it's something that she's making, very bold statements that people need to know. I mean, just the things that people and certain agencies were able to solve things currently with the knowledge that she brought forth.
Right,
so
NASA, Department of Defense, and things like that. So that's interesting. One thing that she mentioned about those wireless ships, though, I have seen that concept, which her work came before in 1980, 1981. So there's that. But that technology was in the movie Independence Day with Will Smith. Those ships were wirelessly controlled drones, basically, from the mothership. So that concept is there also, I believe. I don't know if it's the same thing. But anyway, Sophia Stewart, the mother of the Matrix, you can find her on MatrixTerminator.com and TruthAboutMatrix.com. I posted both of those on my Twitter with this thread of this, which is Uniquilibrium, as I am all over the net. And let's see, what else have we here? Well, that's about it for now. Again, I'm the flexible co-host, so if anybody wants to jump up and talk, ask any questions or say anything about this, we have Yehuda, Soulful Renee Coffee, Seth McNew, Marcy Ann, David Robert, Farmery. How do you say that? Farmery. Big T, Shane Cottle, Danielle Grant, Ella Richards. I heard Shane earlier today on Rodney Williams' show. Danielle Grant, Ella Richards, Danielle Maxwell, Dr. Timothy Hart, Philip Child of God, Ishmael Walking Test, Amanda and Holly, Ronald Smith, Tina Mason, and Laura Schmidt. Darlene Anderson, hello. Nikita Grant, Jennifer Passavant, Stoner P, Madeline Carter, Mr. 2 Extra, Benevolent Faith Ministries, Nancy Energy Lady, Carolyn Graham, Kim Ryan, Graciela Moore, from whom I have borrowed the term flexible co-host from, Kendrick Avant, Andrew May, is that Melee? That's a cool name. Andrew, I like the way it's spelled. Charles Thomas, Roy, Abigail Barton, Phoebe, Rosemary Gallardo, Diana, hey, Carlotta Carey, Kayla H, Mike McCready, Siobhan, Robert Prash, Yahawashi, The Zenith, Shmaryahu Rubinchik, Robin Black, Jen Drakes, Kasia Haraldson. BEE channel, B channel. Deleted user. Anthony Thomas, Rodney Williams, Dr. Rob, Tamara. Rodney! Dr. Rob, what's up? Tamara, Versiner McIntyre, Annie, Lois Sampson, Lois, and Lisa Joy Cashmere. All right. So, we've got you. Thank you all for listening. If no one has any input here who wants to come up to the mic, then Chris and I are going to jump down and cook some, I guess it's going to be dinner now, and get on with the rest of our...
Yep, that's right. Just again, and we'll be back for part 2 because this is as we're sitting here, we're gonna cook some food. We decided we had to. We knew that our minds were going to go a bit wild reading some of this information, so we wanted to do a cold read for the World Reading Club. Hakeem's been on here on Wisdom doing a lot of great work. He brought me in some months ago. I'm just kind of doing a lot of work out here myself, so I'm just really glad to be here. Really glad to be doing some more episodes for Everyday Warriors in association with the World Reading Club. But we'll definitely be back for a deep dive into the insight of his mind and mine as well, and what this kind of means for the future in general, especially some of the bold statements that you made. So be sure to come back for that. Everybody loves to hear Hakeem speak. I know I do. It's great. So.
Well, I have fun doing it. I'm going to be doing it whether or not people enjoy it or not. I will speak because I love it.
That's right. So, that's what it's all about.
All right, y'all. You've been listening to Everyday Warriors and about the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, with yours truly, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, as the flexible co-host with Chris Cavallo of Cavallo Creations, here on the Wisdom app, Social Audio Inc. Phenomena. Happy 1-year birthday for...
happy 1 year, Wisdom. Thanks for having us here. I know you guys really boosted Hakeem up in the last few months here. He's brand new to the app. Instantly got him a top mentor badge. That's what brought him in here. Instantly, you guys showed him amazing love from day one. You sought him out. So just thanks for that. Happy 1 year.
Yes, sir. And that'll be it. Yeah, here we are on the Wisdom app, Social Audio Inc. And this has been a presentation about the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. So please check out the links I have provided on Instagram. No, not Instagram yet. On Facebook, Twitter, and I'll be going on LinkedIn some point in time soon to share some stuff there. So that is it for the day. Chris Cavallo, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, Everyday Warriors. Until next time, stay well.
Sayonara.